Well, Karmelo Anthony has been indicted for the murder of Austin Metcalf. Now, if y'all recall, we've been talking about this case for quite some time. And now the official indictment has come down. Now, for some of you who may not know what an indictment is an official charge when the state looks at the evidence and determines that there is a crime that has been committed. Now, what we do know is that with the state's evidence, obviously they just look at what they think they have at the time of the trial. Obviously, they're going to call in witnesses, yada, yada. But let's kind of get into what they're saying.
Afternoon. Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court, but when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond, and that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
Today's indictment of Karmelo Anthony is an expected and routine step in the legal process. An indictment is a procedural step that happens in virtually every felony criminal case. It's a document that lays out for both the prosecution and the defense what the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt in court. An indictment simply means that a grand jury, after hearing only the prosecution side of the story, determined that there was enough evidence to allow the case to move forward to court. That's all an indictment means. Karmelo and his family are confident in the justice system and the people of Collin County to be fair and impartial. Of course, Karmelo looks forward to his day in court. It's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story, one that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply didn't get to hear. It's only in a trial that both sides get to present evidence and cross-examine each other's witnesses. This is why our justice system is based on the principle of a full and fair trial. That's because it's only in a trial that the full story can be heard and that impartial justice can be done. We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense. The law does not expect or require the citizen accused to prove that they acted in self-defense. It's actually the opposite. The law requires the prosecution to rule out the reasonable doubt that the citizen accused may have acted in self-defense. We understand that this case has sparked strong reactions. Please remember that there are real human beings, kids, on both sides of this case. We ask that everyone do as the law requires and withhold judgment until all the evidence can be heard in court. We are confident that when all the facts are presented and the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion.
Well, there y'all have it. Now you have the official indictment for Karmelo Anthony. Now, what does this mean for him? Well, what it means is he is going to be able to present his witnesses. He will be able to present his case in front of a trial, and they will make a determination whether he is guilty or innocent. Now, we have been seeing so many things on social media with regards to this case. And frankly, it is definitely race motivated, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think it would be such an outcry. Now, what people are saying is that this kid was bullied by both those brothers. This was a straight A student. Everybody liked him. He had good parents. Everything was fine. So what happened that this kid felt like he needed to protect himself? I am willing to bet there is more to the story than they are telling, because nobody, unless they're crazy, right, is just going to jump out and just harm somebody, especially not this kid. Because if you look at this kid's background, he was a great athlete. He got great, good grades in school. In fact, what was being reported is that after this incident, he was actually kicked out of school. So even being kicked out of school for, I believe it was 2 months or so, he still passed with good grades. That just goes to show who this kid Karmelo Anthony is. So my hope is that justice prevails. In fact, if the evidence proves that he was in fact targeted and he needed to defend himself, unfortunately, things happen. Now, there is another family who is grieving, but parents, stay involved in your kid's life. Make sure that your children are not becoming bullies. Make sure that your children are not going to school hurting other people. And frankly, make sure your children and make sure you are not racist, because we are all people. We were all created by the same God. I know some of y'all don't believe in it, but we got here some way. So respect each other. If you don't love each other, stay away from each other, because this is really a shame that kids, this happened and somebody ultimately lost their life. We saw even after that, the Karmelo Anthony family was being taunted. So it really, really brings to question what really happened. What really happened? So I will definitely be covering it. We'll be talking about it here. And y'all, of course, let me know what you all think right there in the